never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen Jiu-Jitsu, but those guys are amazing.
A great honor to have the Machado brothers.
Machado.
It's Carlos Machado.
You know, in Jiu-Jitsu and in life, the foundation is everything. With a weak base, you cannot perform at your best. That's why I'm so excited to share Abstract Champ with you. I've been on the mats my whole life, and I know how important it is to stay connected to the ground. Abstract Champ brings that philosophy into everyday life. They're stylish, they're functional, and they're designed to evolve with you. So if you care about performance, recovery, and health from the ground up, check them out. All right, everybody, I'm here. Coffee time with Carlos Machado, with the youngest of the Machados. But I always say, man, he's, if not the wisest, one of the wisest. That's the guy I call almost daily. We talk about our mom, and then I ask him for advice in life. And I think there's something to be said about the youngest of 5 brothers. Probably he learns from the mistakes of everybody. Said, I'm not going to do like this, do like that. So, John, first of all, thank you for coming here. I appreciate you making the time. And I want to start digging a bit prior to your journey, our journey, coming to America. How was your memory in Brazil, your memories? How were your memories, what you can go back, like being born as our cousins, to our cousins, the Gracies, getting to jiu-jitsu at an early age, and your whole journey up to prior to, and then when we came to America?
Man, first, Carlos, love you. The honor is mine to be here, okay?
Thank you.
And thanks, Mike, behind the computer there for your help.
There you go. Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike Green. Man, so going back, so 80s. No, 80s, I mean, growing up as a little kid, right? So 70s, actually. So, and then it's hard to pinpoint when the jiu-jitsu came a thing because it was always there. By me watching my older brothers, watching you, Higan, Roger, the older brothers training already, and the cousins. We always at Uncle Carlos Gracie house, and Christmas and holidays. Sometimes at Hito Gracie's house, right? So it was always there. And you mentioned something cool in the beginning, right? So as a brother thing. So I think we are both extremes, right? So you're the oldest, I'm the youngest of the brothers, and being the youngest, I think you do learn in a different front, looking from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. You're looking to your brothers growing up, and you're learning through your own lessons and their learning lessons and their mistakes and whatnot. So I think that connect us, you and me, in a very special way, because you're the firstborn, so you're raised different than I was raised, right? First son, you have our father's name, and it's different. Like you have 4 kids, I have 4 kids. Mm-hmm. Each kid, we have them in a different phase of our lives. So we are different parents in a way to each one. So I think that is pretty unique when you're the youngest. Mm-hmm. So the jiu-jitsu, man, was mostly at home or when I was around you and learning from you guys, and I would go to the academy. I remember going to Copacabana, Hollis Gracie teaching class, but I was too young even to comprehend what I was watching, So I was there, watch the class, and see you guys training and the black belts. But so I would do that once in a while, but I wasn't ready for it, right? So by 10 years old, I started to, when our cousin Colin Gracie, he had his kids and he moved to Teresópolis, the mountain town that we grew up, right? And he started that school there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's where I really fell in love with it, like, man. and I never stopped. So 10, 12. By 12, I said, that's all I want to do. I dropped all the other sports, everything that I used to play. I would play just for fun, but hockey, which I did for many years, and all the other sports. I just going to focus on jiu-jitsu, and that became my... So I started that school, that Crawling Open in Teresópolis.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the big house, right? The big house that Uncle Carlos had. With
Yeah.
The,
At the
18
old,
bedrooms. The place was
Good.
amazing.
Gracie Mansion, the old Gracie Mansion.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a replica of it that Jorge and Gracie did in his Torrance Academy,
Yes.
like a museum. So you have a replica.
I seen it. It's funny when I went to the grand opening of Jorge Academy in LA, right? That big gym back then. And there is the museum, right? So I went to the museum, and I was talking to his sons at the time. Was a Hina or Hina, and they're showing the museums. And I'm like, and they showed me the replica of the house. And no, here's the house, this and that. Look at John Machado here. This. I look at those kids. And man, have you ever been to the house? I have countless stories in this house. I trained in this house. Mm-hmm. I know here's this here. I can tell you where it is, and was the gym. That's where I trained.
Yeah,
that was funny. But anyways, yeah, I think it goes through chapters, like we're talking earlier, like the Brazil chapter.
Yeah.
What else do you want to know about Brazil? Where do you want to go?
I think here, for instance, you and I came at the same time to America, but right prior to it, you got married earlier than all of us.
Yes.
And you had a time where you wanted to pursue become a farmer.
Yeah.
I remember you going for a period of time to do schooling on how to become a rancher, and then how things eventually came to be where you decided to come along. So talk a little bit about that part, because you have such an interest. You have many different interests, and I've seen every house that you live, you have all kind of trees that you plant, from herbs to fruits and everything. You haven't like that, they call the green thumb, I guess. And you research alternative holistic things like frequencies. You have the copper wires, you started with the crystals, so you have a lot of an esoteric kind of, area of your life that I guess some people are not aware of. I'd like to kind of dig a little bit on that. I know we read similar books like Ana Maria Primavesi and Hiroshi Seo.
Yes.
All those authors that, at the time. Give me some of that.
Good memory, Carlos.
Yeah.
Good memory. Yeah, so I think that in the Jiu-Jitsu itself, like the founder, Carlos Gracie, he had that other side of, parallel side of his life, which was the concept of lifestyle, having a healthy diet, and to live a long life, a holistic life. And I really like it, that aspect of so jiu-jitsu for me was all of this combined. It wasn't just the art. Mm-hmm. So in that time period, so it was everything. So I have that approach for everything that I do. So my gardening, my planting, I never stopped studying, even though the goal when I was a young man was to go to college, university, and become, an agricultural engineer. But I had kids very young, so I got married. I had a son at 19. So it was right maybe a year before I come to America. So by 20, and I remember our late father, we had some very good talks about life, and where he opened my eyes in many ways. Like, so now you're a father now, what's gonna be? Things change now, and it changed my perspective. So I was looking for direction, like to do the agriculture. I would have to go away for 5 years to a university, and I had a kid already, a wife, and would be in a different state in Brazil, and then I was already a black belt, and I was searching for a direction, and that's when Hagan called Brazil, and I pick up the phone, right? So, and he was looking for you. I said, I want to talk to Carlos. I want to call Carlos to come to America and help me out. We're gonna do this, and I want to train wrestling, compete in Sambo, and blah blah blah. I had all these ideas. So when he said call Carlos, I said no, I want to go. I made a decision right there. I want to go. And he was like, what do you mean? Boy, you have a kid, you got married. No. I'm going, and I want to see United States, learn English, and study, keep studying, go to college there, train with you, train wrestling as well, and see America. That's when we talk, and I was like, Carlos, Higgins calling us, and we start talking about it, and we decided to come. Let's go, right? And that's April 1st, actually. Today it was a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, April 1st.
1990, we arrived here.
So 36 years altogether.
36 years, yeah. Yeah, man.
Crazy, huh? Yeah, I remember you were the one that actually had the conversation with me about,
Yeah.
say, trying to reason, and then I said, you know what? Maybe that's, so I remember was going.
So it was a mix. I think he called you first, so he wanted you to go there. You're the oldest brother. I'm the youngest, and I think I needed that support. Carlos, let's go. I needed that. So if you said no, I'm not going, maybe I wouldn't come as well.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, no, let's go, and let's help Higan. Let's see, and the rest is history, right? So
Just one little piece. I remember at that time was a political chaotic situation in Brazil where they changed the currency.
yeah,
People couldn't get access to the bank accounts. All the airlines got on strike. And we had one flight that stopped in several different countries. It took us 24 hours to make it to America. We stopped in Bolivia,
double the amount
in
of time.
Miami, Houston. We stopped like in 5 different places.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Right? Remember that?
Yeah, it was like I
And
wasn't.
people could smoke inside the airplanes. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
It was crazy.
So I wasn't much in politics at all, but it was a crazy time. He changed the currency
Yeah, that guy
and
Collor,
froze.
Collor became president, was the first, I think, direct elections. And then afterwards he got impeached.
Yeah, he got impeached a year later.
Yeah.
And chaotic. But we were right at the moment when that happened, and he froze people's bank accounts.
Yeah.
How crazy is this?
Yeah.
So that was a crazy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So arriving here in the United States, I know that we lived for a time period in that rental house in Redondo Beach, 3 bedrooms. Our cousin Caesar, Higan and his girlfriend.
Yes.
You eventually, Chris came along, and I was there. I was still single. How was that beginning for you? Because we had to adjust. There was like the prospect of maybe working with our cousin, which ended up not happening. I was right before the academy was open, and thus, eventually, we decided, we're gonna go on our own. What do you recall from that period? Your adjustment coming to America?
So I think you have a cultural shock, right, when you come to United States, because the way things flow here, the way society works, and how chaotic is in Brazil, right? So there was a little bit of that, but it was all fun because we all live in the same house, right? And having fun and training every day. So it was an amazing time. I had a blast because we haven't lived together in so many years, right? Since we were teens. Now we are together again. And to be exposed to that at that time with Higan, training wrestling with Higan in the garage that we had with the first students that actually were training there, right? But there was people today have no idea how it was. There was no jiu-jitsu. There was not a single school open yet. Jiu-jitsu was in a Horion's garage where he was teaching Hoist in Hickson, and then in our garage. That's it, right? And of course, Gracie was in Northern California for a long time, but jiu-jitsu wasn't known. And then through that process where I wanted to go to school and figure out things, and then things happened so fast because I remember it was like when we met Richard Norton, right? He came to the house, and yeah, life has an interesting cycle. So we met Richard, and then he came to the house. Australian kickboxing champion, a great friend.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace. Late last
Great
year.
guy.
Amazing human being, which we owe a lot to it as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm gonna bring Chuck here. So that's how we met Chuck Norris. So he brought Chuck to the house. Right?
What do you remember the first encounter with Chuck?
Man, he called us. He said he would bring him. We're like, okay, but we had no idea. Then I remember was funny. We're in a living room in that little house, right? And he called, hey, I'm on my way with Chuck. Chuck's coming today. So they were driving.
Kind of like a short notice.
Yeah,
right?
it was like we're gonna be there in like
30 minutes.
45 minutes. We all jumped from the couch like, clean the house. It was like an army because make sure we got everything ready to receive Chuck, right? Go clean the garage, get everything ready, brooming, vacuums going, make sure everything is good. And man, that was wild. So and then that's how and Chuck came. So this we're here in April, man. This was like happened a few months right after, right? Just a few months. And Chuck fell in love with it. And he's like, hey, so next time I want you guys to come to my house, right? So that's where we started going to the valley, to Tarzana, to teach him in his house.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wells Road. I
at
think.
Wells Road.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are familiar, but the house that Chuck
Yeah.
lived was used to,
The writer, right?
yeah,
The
it
writer
belonged
store.
to Edgar Rice Burroughs, who's I knew about Edgar Rice Burroughs because of our dad was a big fan.
Mhm.
So in Brazil, Dad, no, I love his books and I read all of his books. And he wrote The Legend of Tarzan, right?
Mhm.
So we used to go to that house and like and teach Chuck in that house. So yeah, so it was like, wow, this is wild. In this city is Tarzana, which he took the name to call Tarzan, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, small world, man. So I guess once we had, we had that uh, academy opening first in Tarzana. What do you recall that came to be? Because we all would go to the valley. We didn't have yet anything in Redondo Beach.
Yeah.
And we had to take the 405 freeway. We had a lot of rides together
Yeah.
in which both of us would go there. I know that Hegan took different
Yeah.
schedules on occasion. Jean-Jacques in the first 2 years was not yet there.
Yeah.
And then Roger came maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
Do you remember that initial phase? What do you remember establishing jiu-jitsu, all those prospects, new students, some of them Division I wrestlers that want to just test us and check out what jiu-jitsu was all about? What comes to memory to you?
No, I think we had at the time we had really that understanding that. No, first, so Chuck, let me back up a little bit before we open the school, and then things are going where then Chuck was like we went to his house, we trained him, and he said, look, that's what he said. He said, look, I'm going away, I'm gonna do a movie. Okay. And when I come back, I'm gonna help you guys. That's all he said. I remember like that. And he went away for months, right? And we're like, man, Chuck's gonna help us. Oh my goodness, right? Chuck Norris is gonna help us. But I remember I started working. I said, man, I need to get a job, right? So I started driving, doing deliveries and whatnot at the time. And my wife came, right, with my son John, who was a year-old baby, and our father passed away,
Yeah.
right? So when our father passed away, then was like the shock, but was like at the same time was like, you know, we made sure we talk a lot about it and like for our mom's sake, hey, how are you doing there? We can go back there. But we had two brothers in Brazil, Jean and Roger. With her, you're gonna be okay. And like so we stayed here. So I made that. So to me, it was that big decision. I'm gonna stay here, and then I have a son. So it was that at that moment, right? That and Chuck came back, and next thing, and then I mean, Harden opened his school that year, the first Gracie Academy in '90, and then later, right after in '91, we opened our school in the Valley, right? So it was like so fast, right? Usually you come if you I don't know, it's a unique story for immigrants, right? So you come in, things happen so fast. Even with the effect of Chuck passing, that's what I wrote a text trying to explain that. It's like the what happened at that moment, right?
Mhm.
And it was so fast, so unique, not only him but Bob Wall,
Mhm.
right? Who was one of his best friends and became one of our best friends and helped us tremendously
Yeah.
as well, and got us lawyers. So we got our papers and like
Yep.
they introduced everyone to us, Jean LaBelle, all the OGs of the time, Benny Urquidez. We met everybody.
Yep.
All the karate legends, kickboxing legends, judo legends.
And
Through
Jim
them.
LaBelle, I have so many fond memories of
Oh
him.
yeah, and
Howard Jackson, Benny Urquidez.
Benny
They
Urquidez.
had they called the Dirty Dozen. Remember
Dirty
the article
Dozen,
that they
yes.
had? Um,
Then we
when
met
when Steven
Volkov.
Seagal had the little disputes.
Later
and
we met
stuff.
Steven Seagal, of course.
Yeah, but
But back to the academy, right?
yeah.
So
Back to the academy. So, what do you remember of that part?
listen, at that time, man, if things were growing fast and we so by 93, then I think 93, 94, the first UFC, right? With Royce. And then things exploded after that because what's the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What is that? Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And everyone wanted to find out. So then it really took an explode. So all of our schools exploded, right? So we had to open bigger locations and move from one place to another. This happened at that point. And it changed. But in the beginning, what you said was like, we had a lot of people coming to, it's not challenge, but to test it, right? Let's see what this is about.
Yeah.
And they didn't come to learn. They came to every seminar we did. We had to deal with that. They were the local tough guy who wanted to test himself and see if we're real, what was happening. And they came to the academy the same, so we had to, right, to prove it.
Yeah.
Right, in training.
The intro class was a full-fledged.
Yeah. So when those guys came, it was like, you do what you do, I do what I do. Let's see what happens. So there was a lot of that, but they passed that phase.
Yeah.
Where then our students start becoming so good that, and then they pass because you come here, the students couldn't handle anybody.
Yeah.
And they changed to.
You're gonna mess with me, so you have a line of people against the wall. Go through that line. If you make it through,
They couldn't make
then
it,
we
no.
can catch up.
Yeah, we had too
Right?
many good students already. Which brings me to something happened recently. I had a gentleman that came to my academy in Texas, and he was like, uh, and he said, "No, I remember I lived in Redondo Beach back in the day, and but the he remembered that, man, but the Machado, the training was so hard. So so he stopped by and he's like, oh, you guys teach so different now. It's like, so was it because it was hard? You remember that, right?
Yeah.
We're making champions, and like that was our focus.
Yeah.
We're training the guys up the wall. We used to take them 3 days a week to run the hills,
Yeah.
the sand dune.
Yeah.
So we made all those first champions, world champions, Pan American champions, and so for 10 years we did that.
Mhm.
And then you did your share here in Texas as well with your first guys, and
Yeah, I think we all have different stages. I think you're a student, you become an instructor, but I think as you evolve, I think there's a degree of mentorship. That mentorship part, which you're going to mention that, I think the students value as much the lessons off the mat as they do the one on the mat, and I think each of us have our own way of doing this, and I think that's when you can make the biggest impact. It's just like, and I'm sure you have something to share about that. So I came to Texas first. So I was single. I was traveling with Chuck Norris. He started his show here, Walker, Texas Ranger. So for in '92, and it took me still 3 years, but I did talk to you. I think I talked to Higan and the other brothers, and it seemed like it was the right decision. Which now looking back, I'm very glad I made that decision.
yes,
But there's always like for me that leaving Brazil was already like cutting the umbilical cord a little bit, right? But leaving LA and coming to Texas, that was the first time that myself, was not surrounded by any relative whatsoever because I was still, for the first 5 years that I lived in LA, I had access. I was renting a house
yes,
with Higan and Roger. I mean, I guess we lived together for a
Yeah.
while, and then I think you had your own place. But we're operating in the same schools. You know, we had the Valley and the Redondo Beach Academy. And I guess after a while, I left. But I think you and Jean Jacques remained in the Valley, and I guess Higan and Roger remained in Redondo Beach. And then afterwards, I don't know exactly what happened. So I was no longer there. So if you kind of give me some feedback, what was the deal then?
So yeah, no, I stayed in the Valley for. We're in both academies, right? But I after a point, so then the Valley started becoming more and more because of the distance. Was me, Jean Jacques, and Renato Magno
Mhm.
there for many years, many years.
Just going back
still.
and forth.
Yeah, driving back. Then I wanted to focus in the Redondo Beach Academy, right? Which eventually we moved to Torrance, right on the edge, to that double.
The 190th?
Yeah, to the 190, to the double store.
Yep.
So I want to focus here, open a big school with Higan and Roger, and focus here. And then I left the Valley. So me and Jean.
So Jean Jacques and Renato stayed behind.
Yeah,
right?
they stay there. It's just his school now, and I decided just to come to the Torrance and help work with Higan and Roger and build. So we built a big school, which we stayed there for many, many years, right? Until I moved and I left. Then we started spreading after that.
So Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, I know I was here already,
Yeah.
but what made you decide? What was the?
I think, man, I was always coming here to see you. I came to a few episodes with Chuck Norris to work on his show as well. So I was always kind of back and forth. But every time, but specific with you, right? So I would come and do a visit you, do a workshop, or then later we do a camp and whatnot. And I'm watching your growth. I said, man, Carlos, man, he's growing a lot. I would see a lot of students, a big school, right? Texas. And And then also in California, after 20, 25 years, I know, almost there,
When was the year
24
that
years.
you?
I left in 2013.
This episode is brought to you by Machado Method Nutrition, premium fuel for disciplined athletes who train with intent and recover with purpose. Live the method, fuel the life. Start now at machadomethodnutrition.com. Okay.
So after so many years in California, I started, my kids started growing up, getting grown up. John was already an adult, and Jean, my twins and Julia, they in their 20s, and I had my youngest Catherine, right? She was 10 at the time. So I started realizing that that chapter was finishing. So I started looking at California, I was like, man, my work's done here. And it wasn't one day, it was a process, right?
So you're already thinking about it.
Yeah, so my oldest, John, he went to Brazil for a year to play soccer, professional soccer.
Mhm. I remember.
Yeah. And then when your first son leaves the house, and you're like, I was like, man, he was the baby that I wanted to start this new life with here.
How it is for a parent to deal with that separation, because it was early, like how old was he when he went to Brazil?
No, he was in his 20, 21 or something like that.
How was it for you?
No, so for me, it was like realizing that. It's a realization he's not there, right? Your son.
Mhm.
And I realized, oh, so he might never come back.
Mhm.
Just like I never came back home. So I left at the same age. I never went back,
Mhm.
right? So I'm looking from the other side, like, oh, interesting. He's not here. He's pursuing his dreams. And if things work out, he might never come back. And then I started realizing my journey as well, having that perspective, my own journey, is like, wow. So I finished that cycle with my son. And then I started looking at my own cycle. Well, it was like that. And at the same time, we're talking, and I had a recent visit here where I was like, man, start seeing Texas with different eyes. Then we had a talk, and like with you and Elaine said, man, you should move here. Or something. We had a talk.
Mhm.
Man, we go here, come here, we open school. And I was like, we had a talk about it.
Mhm.
But you mentioned, but it's kind of, I didn't give an answer. No, my life is in California.
Mhm.
But so all of these start working together until I called you one day, hey, spoke to you and Lindsay, hey, I want to go to Texas. So it was like, I made a decision. And he's like, oh, okay. But then everything, the ball started rolling.
Yep.
So yeah, and here I am.
I know.
You know?
You got the hat. you got everything. The boots.
The boot.
Look at you.
You know?
Yeah, I have to get a good old cowboy hat.
No,
man.
you have.
Yeah, I do, but I like the kangaroo leather. It feels so good. Kangaroo.
This
leather.
one's a little bit smaller, this
Yeah.
style. It's not the
Yeah.
full. I have the full size,
Mhm.
but this is smaller,
Yeah.
so it's more.
Mhm. So, talking about your experiences, like, because I feel, what have you learned? I mean, what were the main lessons that you learned? Because just going back to what you just said in the beginning, leaving Brazil, coming to America, you're the first one that picked up the phone when Higan called. Uh, I remember us saying goodbye to our family at the
Yeah.
airport, and a few months later, our dad passed away. You are the one that had the first child in the whole family. The first Machado of the next generation. You're 19 when you became a dad, and then going through working with your brothers, and then eventually making the move to Texas. What are the most remarkable memories you have of each of those phases that you can recall?
Man, I see. Um, um, uh, I can see connections. So with we wouldn't be anywhere in jiu-jitsu to start with without Carlos Gracie, Helio Gracie, without our cousins, right? Without our our immediate cousins, Carlos Jr., right? Carlos Gracie Jr. and Carolyn Gracie. Oh, Helium Gracie. So
Yeah.
I learned a lot from Helium as well.
The best guard ever, right? Man.
Yeah. So
those
Helium.
legs.
Yeah. So I have I tell even this story, right? Where
He was so talented. My
yeah.
goodness.
So we are all connected. So and I like to learn the lesson and I really take it as my own and I use it and teach
Mhm.
those lessons pass forward. But each cousin, for the founders, the you cannot count the contributions. Like even Renzo, right? So even interesting enough, so Renzo in the early 90s he came here to go to Brazil, to Australia to do a seminar. So we are connecting that way. So Renzo went to Australia. He met Richard Norton there. He told, hey, my cousins are there, the Machado. So we met Richard Norton, but Renzo told him about us.
Mhm.
So I don't forget those things. I try to find the links. Where did it? I go back to the first step of
Yep.
the situation. Then I can come back. I like to do this. Go to
And through
the
Richard,
back.
through Richard, we met Chuck.
And through me, Richard met Chuck, right? So the things are connected, right? And John Will was in Brazil before, so he met us, met Renzo,
Spent time with Higgin.
spent times, with Higgin a lot. So we had that connection through him, Richard Norton. So man, everything is connected. And with our cousins, and in Brazil, every time I was in Brazil, after I came, I would go see a cousin. I remember visiting Helium. I would visit my cousin. Man, what are you doing here, Helium? Oh man, gotta come to America. I would say things, say from the heart, what I thought, And eventually Helium came to America.
Yep. I remember when he first opened his school in Florida.
In Florida. I would say the same to Renzo. I remember seeing Renzo in Brazil when he was there. I was already living here. I said, Renzo, man, you gotta come to America, man. You're so smart, which he is.
Yeah.
And look where he's at, right?
100%.
So, and I remember going to Brazil too. We're doing interviews for the book, for the Carlos Gracie book with Hayla, Hayla Gracie. She's writing the book. And Roger Gracie was a purpose. I said, Hayla, get Roger out of here. Get him to go to London, to grow. He's a young guy. Get out of here. Because the problem when you stay in a place like, I guess anywhere, right? You have that tribal mindset, the local mindset. It's the same programming constantly, right? To stay a certain way or to do this the same way as everybody else. And when the best thing you can do is get out of that environment, go to another place. And then it's like, wow, then you grow. You don't have all of that programming on you, especially Brazil, right? So specifically in this case, Brazil, which you can get trapped into that mindset,
Yeah, I remember us living in Brazil. We'd stay in Rio. The furthest we would go was Teresópolis, up to the mountains, but we wouldn't go out of state that much, and then coming to America, my gosh, you travel all the way across the country and then you realize, man, you have the whole world, to cross.
Exactly. And then so I look for those connections. So coming here, we have the brothers, between the brothers, how we helped each other at different points, and the relation, the connection with those key people, like in the early days, like Chuck Norris, Richard Norton, Bob Wall, right? Richard Bustillo. These are masters.
Yeah, Santo, right?
Danny Santo is still here, living legend. With Danny Santo.
Steve Martinez, too.
Steve Martinez. Then we have Richard Bustillo, which I got really close to. Our first.
You went to teach at his
I taught at his school.
Did you?
Yes.
Didn't you?
So
IMB.
Richard,
I think Fernando Vasconcelos was also. Isn't he there now?
No. This was earlier.
Curious.
But he did our first interview. Well, he used to write columns, right?
Right. He was
so no social media in the early night. So we did our first article with us. It's our picture in black and white. We had those long gis. You had the gis were judo gis. They were very long. You didn't have jiu-jitsu gis. Right? And from that article, we gave our first seminar. We got a phone call, and I went to Higgin to Maine, upstate Maine.
Was that Bruce Carlton?
But no, you remember his name?
Yeah,
Holy
of course.
cow.
Carlos has you guys going to
photographic memory
stuff. Yeah, I went to visit him too. In the past,
He was a
Good guy.
paramedic, right? Wasn't he a paramedic?
Yeah, he was a
Man, what a
medic.
memory, Carlos. Jeez. Yeah, Bruce Scout. First seminar we did in the United States.
Wow.
And so Richard Bustillo. And then he opened the door to the police academies for us. He used to take us, because he was Kali Esgrima, right?
Yep.
Master. And he used to teach all the police departments, because at the time they used the batons, right? The
Yep.
sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have tasers yet at that time. So we used to go to all the police departments. He'll bring us, hey, you need to learn this stuff, right? And our cousins were doing the same. And but Richard opened so many doors. And in 92, if I'm not mistaken, was the LA riots, right? Remember that?
Yep. I do.
The Rodney King case, the whole place burned like in part of LA over the excessive use of force, right? Because they were using the batons
Yeah.
and was on camera, the whole thing, right? So after that, the LAPD created the panel.
Craig Dorsey? Craig, what's the name of the sergeant?
Simpson, wasn't Simpson? Okay.
Sergeant Craig something.
Craig
Dorsey,
Simpson.
I think.
Okay.
It could be.
I
don't
have
know.
to.
You
But
gotta.
anyhow, it was a
Yeah, I
created.
think he did pass away though. Rest in peace. I heard
Oh,
that.
yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear. So it was.
You're thinking
created-
about the other guy. There were two guys.
There
There
were
was a
two.
bald headed with a mustache.
Come on,
I
Carlos.
forgot
We
his
have a
name.
photographic memory.
But Craig was the guy who brought all of us together. Us, me, you, and Hegan, and then Horion, Jimmy
Yes.
Bell.
The whole panel.
He had the whole panel of specialists
Yes.
in different martial arts.
So in that panel, we presented a program that they liked it and said, hey, we want you guys to teach. So
Yeah.
for 5 years, we were teaching
Mm-hmm.
at the 5+ years at the LAPD Academy.
Mhm.
We had a badge and everything.
I remember
was-
we had like the card.
The card, man.
Well, he saved us from a lot of speed tickets.
Yeah,
and gave
because
us
so
free pass on the volleyball tournaments
we have a
in Hermosa Beach.
yeah. So we did that for years. Was all thanks to Richard Bustillo
Mm-hmm.
for opening those doors. And,
Yeah.
we keep doing that until today.
Yeah.
With many police departments in California and here
Yeah.
now. So
Okay, so I know that when we first came to LA, we got to meet quite a few people through Chuck Norris, Jean LaBelle, Gokor, which, man, I have such good memories of Gokor. Good memories and good roles, I guess, too. The Armenians were so tough. And I know that Hegan at that time was experimenting with Sambo. He was doing a lot of wrestling at El Camino College. And he got you involved with the Sambo. We did a few Judo tournaments because we didn't have at the time the Jiu-Jitsu tournaments to the degree that we have now and the amount of tournaments that we have now. So anything you want to mention about that part before you move on?
yeah, so that part of the journey was a very important because the Hegan pioneering that training wrestling, right? So I started going with him to his wrestling training
Mm-hmm.
and learning from him as well. So I learned a lot from Hegan. So, and Hegan really delved very deep into the wrestling in the different styles of wrestling.
Yeah.
So I remember, so I went to there. We were looking for the best teachers, right? So
Who do you remember?
so we trained if any wrestler we could get our hands on. So we had
get
students that were
Bob
wrestlers.
Anderson?
No, Bob Bass at first,
Oh, Bob
right?
Bass, okay.
Our own students that were wrestlers, we're training, teaching them jiu-jitsu and training for them.
Mhm.
And we're improving this way. But then we remember going to the college, El Camino College, and Tom Hazel was the
Yeah,
teacher
I
there.
remember.
And I having lessons with him. And we had, Higan, of course, went to Bob Anderson. I didn't go there, but I remember going with Higan, watching the practice where Dan Henderson was one of the guys in the team under Bob Anderson, training there, and all these top wrestlers. So And then I would pick up from Higan, show me here. So I got a lot from Higan, what he was learning. And I also remember, I think he went to Santa Barbara. Remember, he had
he had a Russian coach,
a Greco guy. He wanted to learn Greco-Roman.
Yep.
He had a Russian coach in Santa Barbara at the time. So, man, I remember I went there one time with Higan. That guy was such a giant and such a brute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how tough Higan is. Man, the guy's doing suplex on you. I said, man, I'm going to break my neck here. So I went one time and I told Higan, from now on, you keep going. I learn from you, man, what you learned from the Russian monster there. But, and then with time, we were looking for guys that were from the Dan Gable camp, who were the best of the best, right? So, and we met Rico Ciparelli, who moved to California.
Yep.
So I got the pleasure to have some lessons with him. And
he was the best student, considered the best Dan Gable's student, wasn't he?
No, the guy is unbelievable. I mean, it's like he's doing jiu-jitsu and he's doing wrestling. To me, it's so technical,
Amazing.
so detailed, so effortless.
Yeah.
So I got a very good concept.
He really integrated well wrestling with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so we became friends, and he's a great person. So there was that journey. In the tournaments, we didn't have tournaments until the first tournament here we had were...
It was 96, I believe.
Yeah, so we got to there, but then we were, okay, let's compete in judo. So we started going to judo tournaments, fighting in the black belts in judo rules and doing very well. I had fun doing those tournaments and Sambo as well. So I went to a few Sambo tournaments. So 20, man, I have over 20 some, close to 30 matches. I remember I lost 2 matches to the same guy. It was a very good Russian guy who, that's his sport, right? So my first time I fought him, I lost by points, right? And I didn't know the rules very much. And I thought I would just submit these guys on the ground quick, but it's a very fast ground. You cannot choke. There's no chokes, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to get back up very fast. So you can only attack the arms or the legs. So I lost by points. Then I kept getting better and better. Eventually, I ran into him in a future tournament where I lost by 1 advantage. So I was very happy with the improvement. And then after that, I remember running to him in another tournament, and I was like, "Hey, Nikolai," and he's like, "No more." He dropped the weight. He said, because the progression of improvement, right? For one. Right. And but you make good friends. In one of those tournaments, the crazy thing that happened, So I had a fight. So it was me, Jean-Jacques, and Rickson in the same bracket, in the same turn, in the same weight class. And Rickson was there also competing in Sambo. And so it was like, so I had my first opponent. So I beat my first opponent, right? And Jean also won his first match. Then I think, so Jean's second match was, so we had a 3-match total. So Jean's second match was with Rickson. And Jean, of course, didn't.
He just passed.
Just pass.
Yeah.
Rickson, please.
Of course.
So just pass. And then I fought another guy on my own. I was on another side. And I beat this guy, the second guy, and then same thing happened. Then the final was with Rickson. And of course, I said, Rickson, never, please. Yeah. So that was an interesting story.
The respect in the hierarchy.
100%. And I learned so much from Rickson. Yeah. So from back in Brazil, I remember from blue belt, until Hickson came to America. I used to train with Hickson. Every week I'll be there and go with me and Jean-Jacques.
He was very gracious.
And Hickson was amazing and very gracious and
Always sharing the knowledge.
always sharing.
Yeah.
He always
Good heart. Very good.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. His
Besides his amazing skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On his skills that he will always share, and I take those lessons to heart until today.
Yeah.
So the tournaments, they kept evolving, and we were doing. I remember that time also we were doing our own tournaments, right? Starting the competition for our own students to compete. There was no tournament, so we would call at the time. Joe Moreira had a big team as well. Had a big.
It was like
our
duel,
team,
like a duel.
Yeah, it was pretty much our schools. Hickson had a team as well. So be between our 3 schools and whoever else we could invite. We used to invite some judo guys to compete as well. But weren't that many. And we kept playing this game, like building these tournaments. And then they kept growing. And Joe Moreira used to be he used to do the super fights in his tournament. Then he'll call us, hey, I have one guy here. So a black belt. So I would go there, fight. And Higan did, Jean-Jacques did.
Yeah.
The super fights.
Yeah.
And we had was a way for us to stay active.
Yeah.
In the 90s. Then by mid-90s, I remember talking to Carlos Jr., I started a federation here, like an organization in the United States.
Yeah.
And then I went to Brazil. We did an article together at the time for the Gracie magazine, where it was the creation of the International Federation, right? And so my goal was to help Carlos do the first international tournament. So I called Joe Moreira. I said, no, let's make it. So Joe Moreira had he was in Orange County, had a connection of the university, right? Of the venue, the big pyramid venue. Yeah. It's a beautiful location. And I said, Joe, usually you do a tournament this time of the year. Let's do the Pan American. It was the first Pan American. And Joe, let's do it. So Joe Moreira helped. So we're all 3 helping and organize a big team. So we had a beautiful tournament. And then second year, I did one, the Pan American. I wanted to bring to our side of town. So we did in Manhattan Beach. I did that tournament, the second one. And working with the Federation of Carlos was a great experience, but wasn't the direction I wanted to go. And Carlos wanted to go on his own direction. So I stopped working with that, but learned a lot from it. And we just kept bringing the students, of course, to compete every year to Brazil, later the Worlds. Remember?
Yeah.
Every year we bring a big team.
Sure.
That was an adventure.
Yeah, I know. Good times.
Good times. Yeah.
So I know you have many interests, but there's a couple of things like, and I'm fast forwarding now. Not only you wrote a book, I think you did a trilogy.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me a bit and telling the audience about how did that come to be, and what's the premise of your books, and how come you did a trilogy? Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier, and we all do that to degrees, right? So by being doing what we've been doing for so long, and working with people, so work with students, and from all walks of life. So we work with guys that are like from super movie stars, multi-millionaire students, to every level between. We work for all. So I started realizing the information that was gathering through the years, right? Through the years and through the years, right? Teaching and running schools, working with students and seminars all over the globe. All those years started. It become like your mind start working in a way that to solve problems and understanding situations better than the most. Okay, So, and then the idea of consulting, right? Well, how can I use this ability in a different area just besides teaching and helping students, right? So we can have a student come in with an issue on his jiu-jitsu, and we can very easily fix his game, something that would have taken years for him to figure out on his own, right? So these, you do it as a teacher all the time with your experience, right? With our experience. But you take this outside, that has a very important value, because time is of essence, right? That's our greatest asset, right? We had so many good people, friends of ours, passing away, right? You realize the mortality of life. You realize that the memento mori, right?
Yeah.
You remember you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Therefore, you want to get things done as fast as you can, as efficient as you can. And that's when expertise comes in. So we have that expertise. So as all those things start coming together, there's something you need to put that out, right? So, and with one of my students, early on, right? He was working with AI very early on, right? Robert Kurian, his name.
Yes.
And he's been working with this before Chat GPT, all of this stuff come about.
Yeah.
Right. So, and by teaching him and getting to know him and talking about it, and he's like, I want to develop something with you, like an AI with you. This before all of these things were available. Okay. So you got to go back 4 years. Okay. And we were talking about, I said, but what do you mean? It's like, I use Google, I use the internet and whatnot, right? How do you make this work? I had no idea. He said, no, I'm going to give you a program. You start playing with this program like an app in a way, but start playing with it. And then I start putting my concepts into this prompting, the prompting.
Yep.
So I was becoming a prompt engineer before there was a name for it. So I was working with this brain and this tool in sharpening, right? So I work in trees, right? Everything in trees. And when I teach, no more than 3 steps, right? So I teach, so beginning, middle, end, right? So this apply to like a triangle, right? To many things in life, for teaching, for thinking. So to simplify the process, because if you put 4 or 5 steps, you overcomplicate the process. So you have 3, then you have another 3, and so forth, and so on.
I agree with you.
Right? So, and then I start working with these tools, and the tools are going crazy and too long, talking. And I said, no. I'm going to limit in 3 steps. We're going to do this, keep short, boom, 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 bang, 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 1, 2, 3. Simple way. So, and then we built those tools, right? But it was almost like an experiment that he was doing at the time. And he called the genies. So he was building genies.
Yep.
So from that, and we kept talking, and I mentioned to him that I wanted to write a book about concepts that you can use that you use in martial arts, you use in jiu-jitsu in the academy, and you can apply to life, apply to business, etc. And he said, no, I'll help you write this book, but we're gonna do different. I said, okay. So I started recording, having many conversations, all recorded, and also questionnaires. I would answer like, man, many questions, Q&As. I would read the question, and I would answer. So we did multiple of those. So we got a lot of material. And then, of course, he was developing the AI tool. So we used the AI to extract the concepts. So we had 100 concepts. And for each one, he's a co-author with me on this book. We did we put a business example for each one. So you can open at any page and you see a concept, how it applies, the application in martial arts, what it means.
Yep.
But you see an application in the real world. Okay.
Yeah, I thought the title was very suggestive, if
Yes.
you don't mind saying.
Yeah, from roles to roles.
From roles to roles.
Yes.
ROLLS and then ROLES.
Yeah, it's from.
It's kind of like a tricky,
It's a tricky. It's a
tricky title
catchphrase.
but you can tell right away what you mean from the mat to real life.
To real life.
Yeah.
So it apply to your role in your business.
Yep.
From rolling on the mat to your role in a company, for example.
Yeah.
So in that, with the samurai way of seeing, so he put a really cool short story about Musashi in the beginning,
Yep.
going back to time. So it's a 20-page short story that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And after this book, we decided to, it's a fake book. It's for adults, people that are already in the business world. Let's make a version for young adults, teens, and kids. So
you have teens and then you have a third one for kids. Is that right?
we did 3 more books after. So we have 4 total.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you elaborate what's the intended audience?
Yeah. So we did one for young adults. So out of that book, again, we extracted with the right content, so a smaller book for young adults, one for preteens, for teens, preteens, and one for little kids with fables, 5 little stories for fables with principles, with the help of AI.
Yes.
So this was already shocking to me at that time. So we had 4 books that came out. They're all on Amazon. If you look under my name.
From roles to roles.
Yeah.
And you have the same title, but for different age groups.
They have different titles, but it's under the from roles to roles.
I got you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and that was really mind opening at that time to the power of what we are seeing now of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which now you can do with any AI very simply, right?
Yeah.
It's available to everybody.
That's awesome.
And so the book, I think it's like we talk a lot about, Carlos, like we are doing this podcast here. So we're speaking our minds to whoever is going to watch us here, right? To get to know how we think, and that it's not just the mat. Mm-hmm. A martial arts will teach you how to solve problems in your life.
Yep.
I can hear anyone. I remember one example is Elon Musk, right? A genius, right? Richest man in the world. And he used the first principle, right? And in physics, he breaks down the project to the simplest components, and then he builds back up.
Yep.
So, like, it's genius, right?
Right.
So he can make the rockets cheaper. He didn't reinvent the car, but he made the car affordable and look cool and cheaper and whatnot. And the guy is genius for that.
100%.
So we do that with jiu-jitsu every day. So we do that when we're teaching, when we're helping a student, right? Or a fighter or a champion to get better. We have the ability to get a very advanced martial artist, break down his game to the first principle. Yep. We do that automatically. We look and we just give him one direction. It's like we have to do almost nothing. Just like a touch and change his whole direction in his game. And the guy's a monster now. We don't have to even teach a technique, right? We talk about that all the time. Mm-hmm. We're not even showing a move, but we give him a direction. And the guy, and his head's blow. It's like sparkles are coming out of his head. Yeah. Oh my God. And he's been doing that for years and years, but he changed everything, right? Yeah. I remember Carson Gracie was I used to hear that about Carson Gracie, Master Carson Gracie, where, man, he had this ability. People would go there, the fighters. One time he would like change his game. To me, when I was younger, always intrigued me that. I was like, how does he do that? And I couldn't understand. Later I got to understand. Mm-hmm. So that's an ability that you can apply to anything, right? when you become an expert in that area.
Yeah. So for the viewers, don't forget on Amazon, from Rolls, ROLLS, to Rolls,
John Machado.
ROLES, by John Machado. And if you have a teen or a preteen or a kid,
Little kid,
there's a
have
version
fables,
of that same book, age appropriate.
age appropriate.
All right.
Yes.
So, but then, I love the fact, the author part of you, but then you have the entertainment part where it's either acting or being involved with production of movies and things like that. And I know you had some encounters in the past, and for the audience, if they haven't yet heard of it, Dave Mamet, the great director, Red Belt, in which you participated. And then I guess you had other projects that ensued in more recent times. We have common friends. They're part of different production companies that you worked with. So tell me a bit. And then we have a recent flick that was on Amazon that our brother, Higan, produced.
So
give me a bit of a perspective on those.
Okay, so we start in the beginning, and I go chapters, and I get to present time. So I got into the acting with we had a student, Burton Richardson, who's
he's in Hawaii now, right?
He's in Hawaii, a great martial artist who was he was training for us at the time, and he was the fight choreographer for this film, right? So
which one? Which one is it?
Was called Kickboxer 4. So
I remember
this is
that.
early
Yes.
early 90s. So I went to me and Higan, we got to work in this film, right? With Sasha Mitchell was the
Yeah.
lead guy.
Was he the one on Prison Break? The main guy on Prison
No. He's
No, never
different
mind.
guy.
I'm
So
confused.
Sasha Mitchell was the lead actor, and I remember also, his teacher was a Shukiron, Israeli, famous Israeli Muay Thai teacher, and so I got to mix. I love the business. I mean, I love this, So I found my passion there, parallel to Jiu-Jitsu. So met the director, later Albert Pion. So I worked in 3 films with him.
Oh, wow.
Right? The same director. And that's where the connections are. So crazy enough, on the second film, we did a movie. In one of those 3 movies, I worked, was the second one we did in the Philippines. So I went to the Philippines.
I remember.
And what was it's called a Heat Seeker. Yeah. So anyhow, so I got to work, and do a fight with Chad. So Chad Stahelski is the director of John Wick today.
Yep.
So
small world.
Yeah, so you see those connections. So you was early on, and each person is having their own journey. So I met Chad back then, and he was also working this film. Man, so from that I started. I need to, just like martial arts, I want to learn more, right? So we had John Trotter was one of our students.
Yeah, I remember he was a producer.
Yeah, he was
guy, right?
Yeah, and he was he comes from theater. He was a theater coach, teacher out of Chicago, and so me and him we start talking a lot about this, and I want you to teach me basics, of acting. So I started doing lessons with him, right? My own student. Then we'll have after class to do a lesson, and he give me books to read. Hey, read this biography. Find the actors that you like. And I started realizing, like martial arts, if you can see actors that you like and you like their style, their moves, you can kind of get the idea. Incorporate your own and start building on my own way, right? And moving that forward to, of course, Steven Seagal. We all met Steven Seagal back in the day as well. And
we had a cool fight scene with him, right? And
yeah.
Was that Under Siege 2?
Under Siege 2. It was like a huge movie.
Was that in the train?
Inside the train. Yeah. And he got to break.
He did a jiu-jitsu.
He did jiu-jitsu on me. I had
first time ever that Seagal did a jiu-jitsu armbar, man.
In ground fighting, yeah. So he breaks
you guys
my
out there, Under Siege 2. Check
Look
it out.
For me, yeah.
look out for John Machado
the fight, you know.
going against Steven Seagal. And of course, Seagal broke his
The
arm.
guy wins, of course. But so from that we kept going, and like I mean, Chuck Norris, many episodes with him you got to do as well.
Walker, we had
And,
some fun with Chuck.
We had great fun with Chuck, and then got to later and later on with we did our own movie. Remember Brazilian Brawl,
Brazilian Brawl, huh?
which was with the late
Leo Fong.
Leo Fong, amazing kung fu master, which very dear to me. We got very close, a great mentor to me in many ways, and he was a great experience. So all these learning.
Jeffrey Lewis, late Jeffrey Lewis was in the
Jeffrey Lewis was our student, famous actor.
He was so kind of him at that time. He was a big actor.
He literally said, I said, Jeff, we're thinking about this to make this film, low budget and whatnot. He said, look, make the movie, I'm going to work. So he not only he read the script, gave suggestions, and worked in the film.
Wow. That's something else.
He said, no, I'll help you guys.
He was already
I
established.
should be doing movies. Go ahead, do it. So good people like this. So the late Jeffrey Lewis. And so going forward to Dave Mamet, of course, came through our coral belt, Renato Magno, Master Renato Magno, and who taught Dave Mamet all the way to black belt, right?
Yeah.
And many other celebrities and actors. And so anyhow, that opportunity was fantastic because Dave Mamet is known as one of the best screenwriters, right? And won all the awards in theater, super respected, and in Broadway and whatnot. And so because of his kindness, so I got to watch and attend a lot of his acting lessons. So he'll teach a program every year in Santa Monica to young actors and actresses from all over the country. They'll come and do this intensive course. And I would go and watch the classes and the performances. Yeah. So I learned a lot.
Did he direct The English Patient? I was trying to.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
can you check filmography for David Mamet?
Yes.
See if he did The English Patient.
But he did. Since the time Renata got to follow a lot of his movies and everything, and he did amazing projects. So in that relationship developed into the red belt.
This episode is sponsored by Stay Humble Coffee. Coffee is so good, it doesn't need to brag. Find it at stayhumblecoffee.com.
So when red belt came about and Renato had I have a role for you. You're gonna. So I met Dave Mamet. We went over the role, and he's like, "No, you're the guy. Let's do it." And of course, it was a big for an
Great
actor.
Opportunity, right?
Yeah, no, for an actor, it was like you're working with guys that are like it's like in Jiu-Jitsu. I relate to Jiu-Jitsu. Let's say you're rolling with you're a beginner and you're rolling with black belts. You're rolling with high belts, world champions, right? Or masters. That's the feeling I had there. All these actors were highly respected. So on the cast of red belt. So, but from the crew and cast, to give an idea. So Chiwetel Ejiofor, who was played the lead, and then I got to train him, me and Renato, for the fights. So I got to train this guy every day and act with him. Right?
What an experience.
What an experience.
Yeah.
So it's a unique experience. And then we spent time together and then to do the acting with him. And it elevates you. And not long after, he was nominated for the Oscar, right?
Yep.
So you're working with a guy of that caliber. On the crew as well, the camera director, he won the Oscar.
So you
following.
interacted with the Oscar-winning director,
the set director,
actor at a later time, the camera director.
The set director won the Oscar a year later, 2 years later.
What a caliber.
So these guys, people that I work in that set, right?
Level up.
And the actors, Joe Montana, man, you're doing scenes with these Ricky Jay, Rodrigo Santoro out of
Yeah.
Brazil,
Yeah.
one of the greatest actor of the generation.
Yeah.
You name it. So it's
Well
super.
established.
Yeah. So these builds you confidence
Yep.
to do your acting. You know?
And then more recently, you were in LA with our brother Hegan, where he did Blow for Blow,
Yes.
independent production. He literally shot the movie in 8 days. It was fast paced. Tell me a bit about that experience working with your brother.
So we're at the camp, right? When we were in Oklahoma, he go, no, I have a script. We're gonna do this. So he sent the script. It was a very cool story. So I play the father. I don't play a martial artist, but I play a mafia guy, retired mafioso, and my son gets bullied by the son of my old partner. So there's a cool conflict in there. So it's a cool character. And we
Don't
had
spoil. Don't spoil for those.
no, it's okay. There was a great conflict, and we had like a Borrachinha, you know, the
Yeah.
Paulo Costa,
Costa,
UFC champion. And we had a great cast.
Great cast, man.
Jean, I work with my son, Jean. That's
Yeah.
an amazing opportunity to work with your own son. And you're
Yeah, I
playing his dad.
I think Hagen actually did get touched by the last scene. And I'm not going to say much, but there's a very good and meaningful interaction between
Yes,
the dad and the son. And I guess you being the dad,
No spoil, no spoil.
probably you have some.
Oh yeah,
personal-
of course. Look, it's I love acting. It's fun, and I did study, but yeah, it's each actor will do their. It's like martial arts. You have your own way of doing things.
Yeah.
So I have my own way how I find that character, how I build that, the backstory for the character. I do it my own way with everything that I learned. In each process, I'm learning. You keep learning, just like jiu-jitsu. It's like a new seminar, a new lesson, a new championship. You go, you keep building, you keep getting better. So I'm always learning, and you start finding the characters you like to play more than others. And
some people say you have the perfect appearance for a villain or a bad guy.
no, I like villain.
Yeah.
I like villains. I like good guys. I like a good villain with a redemption. You know, you want to see that guy, the good in that guy. You know.
Yeah.
So there are films that I turned down, and I didn't want to do it, and I don't.
Depends what the.
Yeah, I don't see, man, the fit, or could be the people involved.
Yeah.
Or the character.
You're
itself.
selective. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be involved.
I understand.
So it's a lot of working with good people, working with your friends, because you're gonna spend time as we get older. You want to spend time with good people.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
We want to have projects that will have good people involved, so the whole thing flows. So that's what happened with Higgins' project. It was 8 days, but amazing experience where
Good energy.
great energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he was kind of stressed a little bit because it's fast paced.
Yeah.
And him being the producer and director and the one who wrote the script, everything is hanging in the balance. He has to be on top.
You spend you arrive there and you spend all those days, and plus
He said he didn't sleep much.
you arrive before the film, and I got to
You
spend
stay
time
until late. Yeah.
with my son, my brother, Marco Santos.
Yeah. That was great.
It's man.
Any projects going on that you can
So,
disclose?
Here in Texas, once I start making my connections here, and Jason, of course, Jason Starn,
Great Jason Starr.
Great Jason
Good friend of
Starr.
ours.
Yeah.
Black belt.
Carlos Machado, black belt, great
There you
guy.
go.
So in Derek Presley, through him, is an amazing writer, director. It's a group of friends.
Yep.
And that each one is doing their own thing. Each one is independent, but we collab, and we all want to grow and keep doing movies, series, and whatnot, documentaries. But we have lots of projects. So with Jason working in 3 of his films, Jason and Derek, we have other projects, of course, but it's all things that we can tell about later.
I got
right? projects with Higan. Higan has other projects
There you go.
coming,
Soon to be released.
and we can mention. Yes.
Yeah. One of the things, John, I was talking about, I was talking to somebody today, I think, about, I was actually at the gym and I met one of my black belts. His wife was telling me that her daughter does acting. She does theater, and she goes to school for theater in Austin, Texas. And she got some gigs, a modeling gig and stuff. But then the movie business used to be under Hollywood grip, almost like a monopoly. And then you see all these different hubs of entertainment popping out. Canada has Toronto and Vancouver. Here Texas. Robert Rodriguez went to Austin. Now Taylor Sheridan, he shot a lot of things in Fort Worth, in Montana, when he did Yellowstone. Has a lot of spin-offs that are going on. The Lioness, was shot here.
He'll share that.
So it's kind of like incredible. And I know Louisiana has its own hub. Atlanta, it's big. Florida. So I think nowadays, I guess, finally with technology, maybe cost is lower and technology gives the average person a chance to produce movies when before you needed high budget and, kind of like a lot of red tape to go through it.
Yeah, look, the technology, it changed the game. So you go movies and music industry, you need to have a label. They had to make the vinyls.
Yep.
The albums had to have a whole album, so many songs.
Mm-hmm.
It cost so much, right? So it had to be under contract. It was like, it's not for everybody, right?
Right.
In a way, then later it became digital,
right?
Napster and whatnot kept developing. Where the iPods came, you can have like single songs.
Yep.
And they become so it keeps
Changed
evolving,
the whole thing.
right?
Yep.
And then you have social media. You have YouTube.
Yep.
You might watch Instagram. An artist is like, oh my goodness, this guy's this person is so good, and then you follow the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the person is making money through either social media or through selling through Spotify, all those platforms. It changed the game because look what the equipment we have here right now. You can sing here, you can make a movie, you have cameras. So that technology, it's available to everyone. It levels the game.
Playing field. Yep.
Yes. And also now with AI, because the AI, it's like people are scared of the AI. I look at AI with a positive view, right? It's a tool that if misused, yes.
Yeah. There's always that risk.
Yes, there is a risk. But if you use it for good, it's revolutionizing everything. So I look at the good AI versus the bad AI.
Mm-hmm.
So which is a common conversation now, where so back to the movie stuff, so I don't lose track. So what's happening now? You don't need Hollywood. It's been years you don't need Hollywood. Because you can make a movie and put on stream, and you have your following, your social media, and people watch.
Yep.
So Higgins' film, our film Blow for Blow, he did a red carpet in LA where you had 700 people.
Yep. It rivals the Marvel release, right?
No. We're in the same building where they were having a Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Red carpet, right? So on the front, they had the Marvel, right? And they had 1,000 people. We had a theater that could fit 300 people. So
and you had
only
600
half
people showing up.
Could watch the thing.
Yep.
And the guys from the building, like, who are you people? Who are you? Like, they're wondering,
surprised.
right? Yeah, but he can. So that shows you, man, you built your own following. People, whoever wants to watch is going to watch. So you don't need Hollywood at all.
You have to admit,
you just make it.
He knows everybody.
Yeah, he knows everybody.
You wanna go to Hollywood, he'll take you anywhere, and you're gonna meet anybody.
It's who you know. You have your friends, and we know a lot of good people in California, in Hollywood, amazing actors, and people that can help, can work together, can do things, but you gotta make cool things.
Yep.
So our goals here is just to making cool stuff where we can get all of our friends to come and work here and keep growing. So that's where we are on that movie thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts Amazon, doesn't matter. Put in some stream platform and next, let's go.
So don't forget, guys, check out Blow for Blow
On Amazon.
Prime Video, Amazon.
Also on Tubi.
On Tubi now.
You can watch
Cool.
on Tubi, yes.
So one more thing I want to touch is like, and this has to do with, I guess, the roles to roles, you become somewhat of a mentor.
Yeah.
And I know, and you talked to me and shared that you've had people from different walks of life that initially you started doing like mat chats and kind of interacting with your students off the mats and when classes were done, trying to kind of just give them good perspective and feedback. But then that turned into now you have people that actually search for you
Yeah.
and hire you
Yeah.
for that alone. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So we've been doing this for how many years, right? On the mat with our students, our private students. But that ability, it has a value. So it's the old story of the guy who has I'll tell a quick story, a 1-minute story. So this guy has this factory the main machine breaks, stop working. And the owner of the factory, and the guy's losing thousands of dollars per second. I mean, this thing needs to be moving. It's like an assembly line, right?
Mhm.
So we need to call somebody right away, an expert to fix this. So this guy shows up, the expert. Older guy, he comes in, he walks around the machine, right? Look. Then he puts a little hammer, tiny little beautiful little hammer. Then he goes like this, and he goes like this, like ding, one hit, turn on, and the machine start working again. Right? And then, so he's in there for 1 minute. And then also, how much do you gotta pay? No, it's $10,000. And the guy, no, but can you $10,000? So the guy's confused now. Why 10,000? Can you write down, break it down, and say, yeah, no problem. So he goes like this. So he goes like this in 1 minute, right? So he goes 59 seconds. 59 seconds. He said, cost $1. 1 second hitting in the right place with the hammer, 9,999. So the story is like that's the ability of fixing someone's game, as we do in jiu-jitsu, because you're gonna change his whole game for the rest of his life. He can be another 10 years on the road going here, and in one adjustment, now he goes on a straight line. But you can do that in any area, right? So if you need to do a surgery, your life is at risk. You don't want to go to the guy around the corner, right? You want to find the best. The guy has to open your heart or do a brain surgery.
Yep.
You'll find the best.
Yep.
Money is not an issue, right? You pay for the best. So in a way, that's the value of helping people be more efficient or figuring out a strategy for their game. What's the obstacle? And very common, who is the enemy? Why? Because we deal in combat. We deal in conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And in conflicts, who's the enemy here? And the guy might have a hidden enemy sabotaging him. So those conversations, you can help people a lot and get them to accomplish their goals.
So is this a practice that you do in addition to your jiu-jitsu?
Yes. So
you can have a client that hires you and you have a deal that you offer?
The idea is to maximize someone's potential. This applies to any area.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to know the subject 100%. You don't have to be an expert in their field. You're dealing with a human being who's going through conflicts, and he knows his field better than you. Mm-hmm. But you can work in the game. Gotcha. And this applies to anything. Just like students all the time, my life is better after start training.
Yeah. 100%.
So what does an armbar has to do with his job? It's not that, but it's what builds inside his confidence. And a lot of times it's the confidence too. It's just lack of confidence.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to use your time, how do they go about to reach out to you?
You just reach out to me, send go on my website, send me an email.
Okay. We're gonna put that
The
on,
links,
on the
yes,
links
for the movies,
on
everything.
the thing.
So
But
we're gonna have everything.
what's your Instagram?
John Machado TV.
At John Machado TV.
Yeah, but
Okay.
let's put all the links after is better.
Okay, sure.
And I want to talk about the school, the academy.
Yeah,
right.
talk about your
Because
academy.
we talk about that all the time.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So you have chapters in your academy. So in my academy in Allen, Texas, where I have 25 black belts
Wow.
that are training with me.
That's
And
awesome.
So now I know you're doing in your way a similar thing. So where we got to a point in this jiu-jitsu life where you start seeing the future.
Mhm.
You start seeing it's not just teaching the new white belt, which we're there, we help everybody, right? But it's the idea of building the next generation of black belts, the next to keep the legacy going.
Mhm.
And so I really been focused on working with my high belts and my black belts. And it's been fantastic. So I started doing that last year.
Mhm.
And this year we are sharpening. So the days that I'm there, and it's been a fantastic journey, with because these are guys that have been there for 10 years at least with you.
Yep.
And to sharpen them going for their next 10. It's like a special force guys, the guys are ready.
You're building
Going
the next
special
generation.
force,
Yeah.
yes, of teachers,
Yep.
and the association.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're doing
That's
that.
awesome.
I'm learning from you as well, Carlos.
Yeah. Well,
I see what you're doing, and I'm like, okay.
I think you have a legacy of your own that you have built already, and you have to further it.
Yeah.
And I feel the thing that I realize is we are not eternal. Especially in the past few weeks, you and I had very close people within our circle that have passed away, and we wish them rest in peace and everything else. But that's a conversation that we've had before, John. Is you take good care of yourself, you improve your lifespan, the odds of you seeing people within your circle that are going to go before you becomes higher.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it may not happen right away, but one thing that I notice is happening more close together.
Yeah.
Before it used to be very sporadic. Now, I guess everybody's getting older at the same time, so we don't know when or how, but I know it does happen to all of us at a point in time. So I feel this mindset, it's something necessary, and I think it's the next step. If you are following through with every stage of your career in the martial arts, which is what we chose to do, from a student to a mentor, I think you cannot stop there. You have to be a legacy builder.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, look, when we came to America, Chuck Norris was younger than me.
Yeah.
So he was around my age, but younger, right? Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
That's when we met him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that when you did your last convention, and you had that
the ceremony.
The ceremony for Chuck.
Award.
And Chuck sent a video, right?
Yeah.
It was really cool. And that's what I said. And look at now, he passed, right? Not too long after. Is that you can see
less than a year.
How it's less than a year. So there's that end. It's gonna happen to all of us, right? But you take care of yourself the best you can. Yes, I believe in that. But you gotta keep the journey continuous, right? And I'm on the same same pace on that, 100%. So it changed your focus, and it changed the way you look at time, where you don't want to waste time.
Yep.
With
I agree with you.
With people, negative people, or negative projects. You want to spend time with good people, like we're here now, and our families, and and student, good people. Period.
Yeah, I think the intentionality. I think all this reminds me of is to be intentional with the time, how you use your time, and be intentional with who you choose to spend time with. So those two things have to be really taken in consideration because we take for granted and we realize, look at our dad's story, right? I thought that after a few months in America, I would never anticipate that our dad would pass away at 67.
Yes.
He was quite young.
Yeah.
I'm almost his age now.
Yes.
And
I think it was 66.
yeah, 66, I guess.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was 67. It was September 6th. That's when he passed.
Okay.
But we got to figure out. Maybe
But look,
I'm off a little bit.
Carlos,
That's the message, though.
yes.
Because
We don't know when is the day or the hour, right?
Yeah.
But we gotta make sure we use our time as wise as possible, without being too paranoid about it.
No.
Enjoy,
No,
be
yes.
relaxed about it.
Yeah.
And you start finding where you want to be, where you're welcome. Simple things, where they feel good, the energy is good,
Yeah.
and you become more selective. That's all, and it comes naturally, and you can build the last phase. But back to our dad, you mentioned also our dad is a Second World War generation, right? So that generation, it's like the baby boomers after they had that standard life. You're gonna work until a certain age, then you retire, and then this and that. I don't believe in none of that.
I don't.
now. So it doesn't apply. So because he retired and he died.
I think,
right? So
that
which-
happened to Uncle Carlos Gracie, too.
I think it happened. No, but Carlos Gracie was born. He was in 92.
Yeah.
But he was already, old.
But he
you know?
worked until he was 89. I think.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I
So,
think he retired 89.
He was at 92. Come on.
Yeah.
So we got to continue no matter. You can stop doing certain things, but you change the way you do things.
Reinvent yourself.
You reinvent. You never stop. The day you stop,
That's the day you die.
there's no point. Yeah, that's the day you're already,
Yeah,
you're already dead.
Yeah. Stagnation is a slow death.
Yes.
And most of the people that I see that actually, and I think this is scientific data that backs it up, any retiree, they shorten their lifespan because if you lose purpose and you don't have a game to play, I feel your reason to stay, it's not there anymore.
So you see, for example, a lot of pro athletes, right? They are in their peaks and they are the this and that, and basketball players and whatnot, and then they retire. And next thing they let themselves go.
Yeah.
Right. And they lose their health.
Yeah.
And so you need. It's a new chapter now. You reinvent yourself. You're gonna do whatever. You can be working in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Keeping taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Stay motivated, and then that later is gonna change too. Then you keep doing, you keep going.
Yeah.
But to keep going, this you gotta have it's key that spiritual perspective. Understand
100%.
that it never ends. So you say, we know we all gonna die, and that's part of the game, and therefore start living, and after there's life after death. Whatever you believe, you're going to this place or that this paradise or that or a different, dimension. It keeps going.
Yeah.
So don't work if you're going to stop. But in this lifetime, there's a clock. So make your projects. Don't procrastinate or don't. And so a lot of the conversations is to remind people of that. So why you're not doing what you want to do right now? So I ask this question. People, they cannot answer. They take forever. So think about it. Let me know.
Yeah.
So usually I start a lot of conversations like this in consultation. People want to do, so why you're not doing what you want to do right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I figure that out.
Yep.
And then you therefore do it. Once you figure out, you do it.
Yeah.
I
think there's that once you're aligned and decided and committed, It's like an alignment of the universe. Everything starts to fall into place. It's
Yeah, nothing
interesting.
can stop you. It's the only thing that stop us. It's us.
Yeah.
Like it's your own. Your mind is your own. We deal with that in martial arts. Your ego. You think it's this. You think it's that. Right. And that's the only thing that can stop is your own self.
Your own self.
It's not your opponent.
Yeah.
It's you. Yeah, the enemy is within, and you work with that, and you understand and you control that, your ego or that part of you, and you don't listen to the naysaying that the self-sabotage. Everyone goes through that. So that's the thing you realize. Like, it doesn't matter if you are a multimillionaire, if a big star, whoever you are, we're all humans and you deal with those elements, right? And sometimes you can be in a certain area. So I want to fix that area, just like you fix a game of a fighter. He might be great in his takedowns, but he's weak here on his sidescapes, for example, or his guard is weak. Then you fine-tune that area. And people have that about themselves. They might be great businessmen or great this, great that, but they're not good family men or they're not good in health. And then you fix those areas. Well, you're already good here, right? And vice versa.
Make it wholesome.
Yeah, and the guy can be the healthiest guy. He's very spiritual, but the guy is broke. I said, okay, so we need to work on that area. On that where he accomplished his goal, where he reached his goals. You know, he has no confidence in that area. Why? He grew up in a certain way, his culture. He was trapped into a tribal mentality of some type. So you help the guy realize that, then he can break through anything.
Yep.
There's no limitations. So anyhow, that's
that's the message of the day. Don't take time for granted. Be intentional.
Yeah.
My brother John, it has been a pleasure catching up with you.
Yeah.
Not sure if you want to add anything else.
I want to add a quick.
Please do.
And I want to add a quick appreciation to my wife, Christiane.
Yes.
You know, I love her. My beautiful wife of, I don't know, man. We're going since I'm 16 years old. I met my wife. Yeah, we're together until today. John, my son John Machado, Jean Machado. John and Jean, two different people there. Yeah. And they are doing amazing life. Julia, my daughter, and Catherine Machado is doing great, very successful and great adults. So I'm very proud of them. And I want to say hello to my beautiful people in the academy. So Bobby, she's my right hand there, running the office. So Bobby Harding. And I want to say to Professor Steve, all the Professor Lane, who's been teaching the kids with me for all these years, and Professor Steve, the adults, and to all of my students there.
Hey, that's it. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you, Carlos.